present.
I'm the grammarian for today. I'll evaluate you on your usage of filler words such as and, like, but. And I will also be monitoring your use of the word of the day, which is significant. And it means sufficiently great or important to be worthy of attention or noteworthy.
And now may we have the timer, Irvin.
Irvin is not here, so we can come quickly. Yeah. But we can quickly come up with some signs. And Tim is supposed to be the speaker one. So I guess we will use a sign, which can be red.
You can just, I guess you can hold up fingers like 5 or 5.
Oh, you can do that, right? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So okay.
What do you need, a timer?
Yeah.
I can be your timer.
Okay, great, Tony. Thank you so much.
Stop sharing, Horace.
Am I sharing? I'm not sharing. I don't think I'm sharing.
Someone's sharing.
Let me see.
Am I the only one that's seeing the Zoom?
You know what? I think we can work it out. Somebody just need to sit with Tim as a timer. And yeah, right? Okay, we can use Tim's as a timer.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, then moving right along. I'll just introduce the role and responsibility for the timer, and then we'll get on with the program if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But Anna is on the screen.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You see that June She's screen showing Anna? There we go. Okay.
So Michael, can you sit with Tim when Tim is?
Pardon.
All right. Well, good.
Okay, Anna, what do you want me to do?
We're gonna move on to Toastmaster Horace, introduce the first evaluator, Michael, and the speaker number 1, Tim.
All right, let's get on with the program. I know everybody's happy to have made it this far along. I know we probably would like to do this one or more times before Christmas, but we won't do that. So our first speaker today is Tim, who isn't. He is, I don't see. Oh, then let me just bring up the evaluator. Michael, please introduce to us your speaker.
Hello. Today I will be evaluating Tim for his 6th speech on vocal variety. His speech topic is about preparation, and during his speech I'll be watching for how his vocal variety both makes his speech more interesting and also contributes to his message. Thank you. I'll pass it.
Hello everybody. So today my speech will be about preparation and planning. Last time's speech mine was about preparation. So I'm kind of piggybacking off of that speech, talking about this one. So last time I talked about how you need to be prepared in order to be able to properly accomplish your goals. My example was fixing my wall. And this time I'm going to go in depth about planning. You need to have a proper plan to be able to efficiently use your time and not waste your time trying to figure out what your next step is. Having a proper plan will help you enable yourself to be able to have a significant plan in order to not waste your time like doing it'll help you have a significant plan in order to not waste your time doing unnecessary things. For example, this week during Thanksgiving, me and my cousin, we were making some sweet potato casserole. If any of you guys had that? It is a sweet potato, like kind of like a pie, but a sweet potato topped with sugar, some marshmallows, and pecans. So, you know, when you're baking, you always need to have a proper recipe, and you should usually follow that recipe. So this time we had a short clipping recipe from our grandma, and it was always like a nice treat to make during Thanksgiving. So this time we decided, since we didn't have much time, we were making it on the day of, which was improper planning of us. But this time we were making sweet potato casserole right off the recipe. We didn't have that much time, so we just looked at the ingredients and decided, why not just go by eye, looking at measurements. 1 cup, you don't have the measurement cups as of that day, so we just scooped a bit of sugar and decided that looked about a cup full. And we kept on going, and we were like, it could be more sweet, it could be less sweet, it's not that important to us, so we just go by eye, do what we think is best, and then go with the recipe. And as a lot of you might know, if you don't really follow the recipe exactly, sometimes your food might not turn out too great. I did a little bit weird, sometimes not the best, but good thing is this time it turned out just a little bit too sweet. And of course, that's probably because we put too much sugar in and we didn't follow a 1 cup recipe. So going into the planning period, you want to be able to properly plan so you don't have to figure things out on the spot. And if something does come up, like me not having my measuring cups or anything, I could figure something else beforehand and have any replacements done beforehand. So I don't have to rush and be pressured to add more sugar and make it more sweet. But that's all right. And also, having a proper plan will help you be able to not procrastinate on it. As for me personally, I feel like when I have a plan written out, I know what to do. I won't be sitting there thinking, let me just wait and do this tomorrow. And for our casserole, our sweet potato casserole, although we did do it on the day of Thanksgiving, Thursday, we didn't really have a proper plan, so we kind of pushed it off. Our parents told us to go buy the ingredients the day before, but we were all like, oh, we'll just get it on Thanksgiving, which was not a good idea because then we remembered everything is closed on Thanksgiving. No shops are open. Kroger and like Target, they don't really open. But it's all right. We still had some leftover sweet potatoes we bought beforehand, so we used those. So I guess we made do without a plan. So that's the importance of having a plan. It also, even if you do have a plan, you need to make sure that you act upon that plan. Because if you have a perfectly good plan, like a recipe, and you don't follow the recipe, what you make is something that is not what was intended. Although this time it happened to be not too bad, it was just a little bit sweet, but it could have been something that it turned out to be too much sugar and it like caramelized in the oven, which would cause a disaster because that would be complete hard solid sugar and then not even a sweet casserole. So then our parents and I couldn't enjoy our little treat and dessert. So lastly, I want to say that having a proper plan is just something that would help you have good efficiency, have good time management, and also help you just to visualize your steps that what you need to do. And having a visualization for me, personally I'm a visual learner, so it's a lot easier to have things like when I'm looking at it, and I can translate that better to my actions. But it may be different for everybody, so certain plans that you could do are just like writing out the plans, or just saying the plan to someone else, or even just looking off someone's other recipe or something like that. And that's all different types of planning, so you can do that. And there are also different sorts of plans you can plan for, like short-term plans, long-term plans, and then like future plans. For example, short-term plans would just be like maybe you want to do a single day, you want to like plan out your day, be able to have a better idea of what you're going to do each other day, like plan out your breaks, your study times, or also your dinners and extracurriculars. That would be a short-term plan. Next up, you can have long-term plans, which are like for maybe the week or even the month. And those plans would help you maybe map out what you want to accomplish in that month. Just have a goal you want to accomplish. Maybe say you want to work out every day or every week, or just like study every week, just prepare for the ACT if that's you're taking that, or the SAT, anything like that. And then future goals, maybe some like long-term, like yearly. Maybe for me, I'm a junior, so I might be looking at colleges. I should start planning right now and think about what colleges I want to get to, what I should do right now in order to achieve that goal. And it's just to have a proper goal when you're doing a plan. Have something you want to aim to, and plan out, make a plan that helps you, that guides you to accomplish that goal. Because the main point of a plan is just to be able to help yourself get to your goal faster, easier, and just in a better way. So that is the importance of having a good plan, and that is thank you.
Wonderful job. Excellent job. Planning. It's all about planning. So let me call on the next evaluator. The next evaluator is Xavier Prayer, who will be introducing the speaker.
All right. So the next speech is going to be who Astya, and is going to be your icebreaker, 4 to 6 minutes. If she is in there.
Palastia is not available today.
All right.
So can we move on to the third speaker?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon. Today I'll be evaluating Isaac's speech. This is his third project, Get to the Point, and he's speaking on the history of Samsung. I'm going to evaluate his point based on how he organized his purposes, and his purpose for this speech is to educate on Samsung and how clear those points come across. And I'm also going to be monitoring his fail rates. Go ahead.
All right, thank you for that. Now, when you hear the word smartphones, what brand first comes to your mind? Apple.
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 Apple. Apple. So pretty much Apple is one of the most dominant brands when it comes to cell phones. However, they are not the best. You see, Samsung has been one of the most innovative brands in the past 20 years. Not only due to their AI, due to their extremely advanced cameras, which you can shoot, even movies have been shot on those cameras in 8K, you can even have your own flip phone, advanced new flip phone. Now, I mainly got this idea on the history of Samsung because I robbed Eric from it, as he did a history of Apple speech. So thank you to Eric for this idea. But one thing you might not know about Samsung is when they were first created. So when you think of Apple, Apple was created in 1976, around 50-ish years ago, going on 50 years. Samsung was actually created almost a century ago, but it did not always start as a tech company. It actually started as a grocery trading company, like Costco or Kroger, just trading goods for money. And it was launched by a man named Lee Young-chol in Korea. And he had this trading company for around 20 years, trading all types of ramen, rice, fish goods. And it was him and a team of 40 of his friends. And they ran this company and they built it up. However, it started dying off after a few decades. So after he saw what the Americans were doing in their devices, their black and white TVs, their washing machines, even their phones and communications, He thought, why don't I try that for Korea? And he switched over to the Samsung we knew today in 1969, where he first started making black and white TVs. And they were an instant hit because at that time, Korea had not had any of that technology. So after his hit with the black and white TVs, which he did not name for whatever reason, he started making his own phone. And in 1971, he made his own cell phone called the SH-1000. Now, this phone was the first portable cell phone that in Korea. It wasn't the first cell phone that was made by a less known tech company that I don't exactly know the name of, but it was like your normal on-the-wall phone. You take it off, you dial who you need, and then you just put it back to charge. It was an instant hit in both North and South Korea. And they would continue making these types of phones, including landlines and portable cell phones, until Apple hit their big break in the early 2000s with the iPhone, changing the game permanently. Samsung cannot just sit back and let Apple dominate them in their own game, which they started many decades before. So Samsung launched the SPH i300 in 2007, which was the first Asian produced cell phone ever made. And it sold out all across the world due to its innovative technology, its introduction of an LCD display or a crystal display, and its longevity in battery life. Now, Apple and Samsung were on top of their game in the 2010s. Apple, as you know, their interface was one of the most simple and easiest to navigate, and Samsung had some of the most advanced technology with their Galaxy Notes and Galaxy S series. I even had one of those of my own. Unfortunately, it broke, but it was a very, very capable phone. Even though the phone as of now would be 8 years old, it would still hold up, and it would still serve its purpose very well. Now, one thing that Samsung beats Apple in is their cameras. As I said before, there have been multiple movies shot with Samsung cameras, as they go by a measurement called megapixels. Most Apple cameras, they'll run on 12 megapixels, sometimes 16. Samsung's most recent phone, the S24 Ultra, has 48 megapixels. So just to think on how fine the details would be in those pictures or in those videos is insane. Even shooting up to 8K footage. Now, most of the time, people can't tell a visual difference between 4 and 8K, but the amount of technology and work it takes to be able to shoot hours and hours of footage at that high of resolution is something that is unheard of, even with their AI such as Bixby, which is built in at the click of a button, can tell you everything you need. Whether it be your Thanksgiving recipes, whether it be how to fix an object, it's all right there. They even still, Samsung today branches out to TVs. They're one of the best-selling TV brands of all time. They're also the main manufacturer of chips for computers, for audio devices, even for phones. And although Apple is valued at $4 trillion today, and Samsung is only valued at $300 trillion, it's not all about the money, it's about the advancement in technology that you have. Now, I have one final question. Was this speech enough to convince you to get a Samsung next time? And that concludes my speech.
Thank you. Wonderful job. Let's move on into the table topic session at this point. I believe Jason. Is Jason available?
Jason is not available, but since Xavier, the second evaluator, doesn't have to evaluate Palastia,
Excellent.
can Xavier the table topic master?
Excellent choice. We'll have Xavier become our master since he's not evaluating a speaker. Mr. Xavier, where are you? Are you live today, Xavier, or are you on an?
I am here.
We don't see a live picture of you. We love happy, shiny faces. There you are. All right, Mr. Table Topics. I hope you have your two book notes in hand because the next few minutes is all yours. Mr. Table Topics Master, take us away.
All right. I would like to start off our table topics by asking you a question. All right. If you could choose one place to live outside of the United States to live for, say, 20 or so years, which place would you choose? That'll be to Mr. Horace Taylor.
Now, that is not fair to ask me where would I live for 20 years, but I will tell you, I've always wanted to go to Alaska. And I think now is the time for me to go to Alaska. I know I would enjoy Alaska for 20 years, if not 25 years. But the main reason Alaska is to fish. Now, I'm a huge fisher. I fish every other 2 days. I like fly fishing as well as just sitting on the bank of a bridge with a little line cast in the water. I don't catch much, but again, for me, fishing is a place and a time where I can just unwind, clear my mind, and just enjoy the outside, the scenery. I know one thing about Alaska. There are mountains, there is snow, there is ice, there's forests. So I know I will totally enjoy living in Alaska for 20 years. And if it's that good, I may hang around for 5 more years. And I will invite all of you Toastmasters to come to Alaska. And then we will have a fishing outing. And we will see who catches the largest salmon or bass or whatever's in the water, a whale or two. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Master.
Excellent. Next up, I'd like to ask if you had 3 wishes, what would they be and why? And this question should go to Mr. Michael.
3 wishes. Now that's a tough choice because I could ask for anything in the world, but I don't really have something that I want a lot. However, my first wish would probably be for my acceptance into Brown. That would settle my heart and allow for the rest of my senior year to be less stressful and more fun. The second thing I'll ask for is a bunch of money. The specific amount is somewhere up in the billions, but enough to guarantee me a comfortable life so that even if my dream doesn't pan out, I will be able to enjoy my life outside of being a doctor. The third thing I'll ask for is probably incredible violin skills. Now, although I'm not bad, currently compared to the great soloist, I am nothing. Unfortunately, there are a lot of pieces in this world that sound amazing to my ears, but I will never be able to play because it's simply too hard for me technically. So if I ask for amazing violin skills, I'll be able to practice and keep improving, but also play the pieces that I love at a performance level. Maybe I'll even get to perform as a side gig. So that would be my 3 wishes. Thank you.
Excellent answer. Next, we'll have, what is your favorite childhood memory and why does that one in particular stand out to you? And we'll go with Kennedy.
Thank you for that question, Xavier. If I'm being honest, I was dreading that you might ask me that question for one reason in particular. And that reason is because I can't even remember what I ate yesterday. Nevertheless, any sort of childhood memory that wasn't maybe a negative one. But the best childhood memory I've had, the only thing I can think of is when my dad took me out to this steakhouse and I tried ribs for the first time. And even now, he'll make fun of me for pronouncing it webs because I wasn't the best at pronouncing words back then. But it was the best thing I've ever tasted, and it to this day is still one of my favorite things. But if I'm being honest, that is the only childhood memory I remember, besides some fleeting memories of me playing with my dog. But I would say that that is one of my most favorites. Thank you.
Excellent answer. Next up is, if you were to be in any fictional world of your choosing, which would it be and why? And we'll ask that to Isaac.
So the question is, if I could live in any fictional world, what would it be? And this is a tough question because in almost every fictional world, there's always an issue, or there's always something that's going to go wrong. So, if I were to pick, let's say, an anime, Dragon Ball Z, I'd be living in a universe where worlds are getting destroyed left and right. And I don't even know if I would be a Saiyan or at that level to fend off any enemies or protect myself. If I chose a game like Roblox, I would be doomed to forever play with little kids and have brain rot for the rest of my life. So if I had to live in any fictional universe, I would probably have to choose Minecraft. Reason being, yes, I will have to fight monsters. Yes, I will have to build houses and stuff and fend for myself. But it's a game that I know well, and honestly, out of the fictional worlds, games, or shows I watch, it'll probably be the safest option. So that'd be my answer.
Excellent. Next up is, if you were to write a book, what genre would it be and why? That would be to Hannah.
If I had to write a book in any genre, I I can take this two ways. I can write a nonfiction book, a science book, like about snakes. I could just Google a bunch of facts about snakes and then write it onto a book and call it a day. That would probably be really easy. But if I wanted to write a book for myself, I would write in the fiction, fantasy genre, because that's what I like to read and that's what I have experience in writing. So that would be my answer. Thank you.
Next, it would be, if you could create any product to improve daily life, what would it be and what would you call it? And we'll send that one to Amira.
If I can create any product that can improve daily life, I think I'll create a product like a specific AI like thing that can constantly remind you, or actually maybe a glasses can have that you can access access the internet with. I think that would be a very cool thing, and if it could, because sometimes I have problems remembering my plans, and I have trouble sometimes following them, and if there could be a thing that could remind me or have a set task planning, I think that would really help me plan out my work
Excellent. Next up would be share one quote that resonates to you, explain why it's significant to you, and one quote that you think sucks and can be improved. And that will be to Miss Anna.
People Talk Master, thank you for that question. So there are two quotes. One is the good quote I can resonate with. I have many quotes I like, but this one jumped in my mind right now is the quote that came from a very famous female actress in China back 30 years ago. She was very controversial and she was very successful. Her personal life is always very interesting to the public. And she wrote autobiography. In that book, she said, walk your own path. Let everybody talk about it. So that brings me to think that for that generation, my generation that grew up in China from 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago, we have always been taught to be a good child, a good person. You're supposed to follow this rule and that rule. And the result is, yeah, we're all successful, we're all professional, we're all disciplined, we all have a good life. But on the other hand, we're kind of lack of something. So at this age, I would rather, me being given the opportunity to be creative, to be wild even sometimes. So that quote, I think it really resonates with me right now. That is, walk your own path, let everybody talk about it. The bad quote, I haven't really thought about. I couldn't come up with bad quotes, and yeah, but I love to share that good quote with you. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Next up is what is one habit that you would like to change and how would you go about it? And that would be Imara.
One habit that I would like to change is more of a bad habit. It's to drink more water. When I was a bit younger, I didn't like water for some reason. I didn't like the taste of it, the smell, even though it didn't have a smell. So I would buy water packets to put in it. But as I got older, I like water, I just forget to drink it. And the doctors, my parents, you need to drink more water during the day. You can't go 7 hours at school without drinking water. And I don't listen to them at all. But I try to drink water. I bring different water bottles to school to drink more water. So that would probably be one of my New Year's resolutions is to remember to drink water. Doctors tell me to set a timer on your phone or your Apple Watch to remind you, but that just makes too much noise. And it's too much work to be doing that for like every 30 minutes. I did it during the summertime because I had the time, but during school, it just takes up too much time. And you have other schoolwork to do, other extracurricular activities. It's a really bad habit. Drink more water.
Excellent. Next, if you could understand any one animal, which one would you choose and why? And this one will be to Mia.
So the question is, if I could understand any one animal, what animal it would be? I guess I would have to choose birds because I feel like they could be talking about something interesting because they're all like on top of the phone lines and stuff. Like they're all just gathered there, and sometimes they Google my car. So I kind of want to know why they direct at cars or like what they're doing on their daily lives because I don't know, maybe being a bird would be interesting, and I would like to become one day. I don't know. And that's about it because I don't own any pets. I don't have anything that stays alive. So thank you.
Next up would be if your life was a sitcom, what would be the title of it? And how would this show or your sitcom be? And that'll be to Mr. Tim.
So the question was, if my life was a sitcom, what would be the name of it, and what would it be about? I don't watch much sitcoms, so I don't know how they usually name it, but I'd assume that if my life was a sitcom, it goes something about remember to wake up. Because I've had this problem for quite a while of not waking up on time for anything. Especially on breaks, lately this Thanksgiving break, my wake up schedule has been off by few hours more than that by now. Usually you're supposed to wake up at around 6. I've gone till 9, 10, 12, 1, 2. So it's gotten pretty bad lately. And to make up for that, I've been taking naps, not like 30-minute naps, maybe like 1 to 3, maybe 4-hour naps in the afternoon. So I'd say my sleep is getting there. I'm getting 8 hours a day, but maybe not at the right times. So I guess it'd be something for sitcom. It'd be something about sleep schedule or just sleep. So thank you.
Excellent. I believe we have time for about one more. So this last one, I'm gonna bring it back around full circle. And if you could have any one superpower and it could be stackable, like you could keep stacking it up, like for instance, say you choose super flight and you can fly fast, but you could stack it up and make it even faster, or whatever power you choose. What power would it be and why? And we'll finish it off with Mr. Horace Taylor.
If, okay, a superpower that's stackable. I like pizza. I really, really like pizza. I like pizza so much that if I could turn into a super pizza guy, I would fly to you guys right now and bring you hot pizza. And since it's stackable, I will also bring to you pizza bites. And since that's stackable, I would also bring pizza bites, and something to drink with. And I will continue to stack it, and I will, of course, bring a pizza bite napkin to wipe away the pizza dribbles that may spring out of your mouth. But most importantly, about a superhero that is stackable, that loves pizza, is this. Once you've consumed enough pizza and consumed enough pizza bites, I can guarantee you, was it Tim? You would have no problem waking up because all of the pizza juices, the oils, the butter, or whatever is inside will ooze out of your body. So you would have a wonderful time enjoying my stackable pizzas. Thank you. And we should close off this table topic session for the year. Thank you, Flavia. So let's move on into the uh, general evaluators portion. And our general evaluator today is Anna. Hello, Anna. Bring us home. Don't forget your pizza.
Master Force Taylor. Now we're entering into our evaluation session, which is where the learning and growing happening. Our first evaluator is Michael, evaluating Tim's speech.
Tim, overall, a good speech. I enjoyed it. If I'm not mistaken, was this your first time giving a speech in person?
It's my second.
Oh, okay, second time. So your topic preparation was very applicable to all of us and relatable, I think, because we all have had in our lives time where we need to plan. Your body language was good when you were showing the recipe. You had the about the size of the recipe and also pouring the sugar and stuff like that. So that was a very interesting part. You also, for your vocal writing, you did have one piece of dialogue where you thought, oh, we could make it today or something like that. That was a change of voice from your normal speech, so that was good. Vocal writing. Your speech overall had a good cadence. Your variation was good, and it was very clear to all of us sitting here. You paused a little bit sometimes, but maybe you could have used this more for some suspense or some other places. You did have a little more filler words than I think you normally did. But I think that just you were being a little nervous, which is perfectly fine. And your organization was good too. You started with an explanation and then an example, followed by different types of plans at the end. So overall, your speech was pretty good with a little room for improvement. Thank you.
All right, great. Wonderful evaluation. Our second evaluator is Kennedy, evaluating.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna. So Isaac, in general, I think your speech was very engaging. I loved how you interacted with the audience at first by asking them the questions about what they thought about Apple and what they thought about when it came to smartphones. That was a great way to engage the audience with your speech. I liked how your story started flowing in the middle. And I know around the middle you started getting more comfortable and started to walk around. I do think you can work on some of your transitions. As I said, during the middle and right after you gave your introduction, you started flowing really nice into this great story about the early history of Samsung. But before that, you used transitions like now and so. And I think maybe you could use some more dynamic transitions like getting off that. Now I'm going to talk to you about the history of, just to introduce what you're about to say instead of just now and so. I do also see that you used a lot of so's in the second half of your speech, but you didn't use it in a bad way as transitions. I just think maybe you could get some other words in there as well. But I do think you were well prepared with your notes. You didn't reference them too much at all. You were very clear and you conveyed your purpose of telling us the history very well. So thank you.
Great. That was very tough, Mr. Evaluating brother. All right, thank you for that evaluation. Now, let me bring the timer's report from.
So for my timer's report, I'll start on the speeches. My speech came in at a time of 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Isaac's speech came in at a time of 6 minutes and 34 seconds. And moving on to table topics, we had the first speaker, which was Horst Taylor. Mr. Horst Taylor, you had a time of 1 minute and 32 seconds. Next, we had Michael with a time of 1 minute 17 seconds. Next, we had Kennedy with a time of 1 minute, Isaac with a time of 1 minute 23, Anna with a time of 40 seconds, Amira with a time of 1 minute 14, Miss Anna with a time of 1 minute and 54 seconds, Amara with a time of 1 minute and 12 seconds, me with a time of 49 seconds, and I had a time of 1 minute 10 seconds, and then Mr. Horse Taylor again had a time of 1 minute and 40 seconds. Ending off our table topics. Next up, both our evaluations they in 30 seconds, and that is all for my time report.
Thank you, Tim, for that kind of report. Next is the grammarian report from Kennedy. Is that Kennedy? Or from Hannah? Kennedy has a whole page of the notes, so I thought.
Thank you for the introduction, Isabel. So for our speeches, the prepared speeches had, Tim's speech had 10 filler words and maybe filler word of the day, but it was memorized, so I can see that. For Isaac, he had 5 filler words and maybe filler word of the day. For table topics, you guys were boring, man. You had no filler words or uses of the word of the day, except for Mia with 2 filler words and 2 with 1. And evaluators and timers, nothing I can say about that. Good job.
Thank you, Anna, for that grammarian report. Now for the evaluation of the meeting, another great meeting we had today. Great speeches from Tim and Isaac, great evaluations. Everybody, Xavier did a wonderful job as the table topic master. And I enjoyed everybody's table topic speech, very fun. And I just want to encourage everybody to reflect on this year, this semester. Think about how many speeches you did and how many table topics you did every week, right? Except for corporate Thanksgiving. Put a hand on your shoulder and give yourself a pat. Great job. Great job, everyone. Yeah, you did a wonderful job this semester. And I'm very proud of every one of you. I'm proud of myself too. I gave some impromptu speech too. So that's I practice, I improve myself too. So thank you for this opportunity. And I enjoyed growing with y'all too. So I hope everybody enjoy your Christmas break. Don't do a significant damage. Do a lot of nap, sleep late, sleep in, get up 1 o'clock. That's fine. And I want to give the podium back to Horace Taylor. Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, very, very. What? Please.
You're kind of breaking a little bit, Horace.
Are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I was hoping Xavier would come back on, but since he's a bit shy for whatever reason, I just want to say to everybody, Xavier has received 2 college acceptance letters. One to the University of Memphis and one to Middle Tennessee State University. Luckily for Xavier, both schools have professional piloting programs because that's what he would like. That's what he says today he would like to be. But once he's at college, I'm sure he'll change and become a history buff or something like that. So already he has 2 college acceptance letters, and he's hoping to receive the same from the Air Force Academy or the Naval Academy. I just want to share that and echo what Anna said. Hey, this has been a wonderful program. And wow, I look forward to next year when we start up again. That's all that I have. Xavier, are you there? Show your face, Xavier. There he is.
So proud of you. Yeah.
That's wonderful. All I have. Back to you, ma'am.
Okay, Thank you, Horace. Thanks for sharing that great news. Yeah, and President Michael, do you have anything for us? Okay. All right. Anybody have anything? No? Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. I hope everybody have a great holiday. Yeah. We'll come back see each other next semester. I'll send out the dates of the class, the first meeting. All right. Okay. Bye, y'all. Thank you.